What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer update video as we look at the latest goings on and off at Arsenal during this transfer window, which at the moment is very, very quiet, moving at a snail's pace at the moment. But as I've been saying on the live streams, usually when it goes quiet is when the work is being done in the background. So I'd like to think that Arsenal will announce a signing or two in the very near future and get some business done. Big up to everyone locked in. Make sure you hit the like button, get in the comments, subscribe as well. And we're going to discuss the latest happenings at Arsenal, people. Arsenal are closing in on a deal for Italian international centre-back Ricardo Calafiori. The Italian international who you will have seen at the Euros playing for Italy. He's been linked with Arsenal for a couple of weeks now. A number of other clubs have been linked with him. Juventus, Bayer Leverkusen and Chelsea, to name but a few. Reports coming out of Italy today are that Arsenal have made a breakthrough in negotiations with Calafiori, and the player is now open to joining Arsenal. Now, over the last couple of weeks, despite Arsenal's interest, the story coming out of the Italian media has been that Calafiori wants to remain in Italy. He wants to go to Juventus. Now, just to give a bit of context into the deal and the player and why Arsenal will maybe have an opportunity to get the deal done. Bologna, the club that Calafiori plays for, their manager or former manager, Thiago Motta, has just left them to go to Juventus. So Thiago Motta has left Bologna, he's gone to Juventus, and of course Bologna are not happy about it, and there is now a strained relationship between Bologna and Juventus. So Xerxes looks like he could be on his way out of Bologna with the release clause. They've lost their manager to Juventus, and now their star Italian player Calafiori is being linked with a move. They don't want him to go to Juventus. Juventus also financially are not as strong as they've been in previous years, because they didn't make the Champions League this season. So Calafiori, let's get a little bit of context into him. 22 years of age, left-footed centre-back, can also play at left-back. Very good, very calm on the ball from what we've seen. And an opportunity has presented itself for Arsenal to maybe get the deal done. They've previously dealt with Bologna, having signed Takahiro Tomiyasu from Bologna a couple of years ago. Now, I've got a few question marks over this deal, and I want people to get into the community in the comments and let us know what you think. Listen, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on this guy. I'm not sitting here watching Bologna play on the weekend. I think I watched Bologna once last year for 90 minutes because I wanted to look at Xerxes because he was a player we were being linked with. Apart from that, I've seen him play in the Euros for Italy and a few YouTube clips. That is it, people. So I'm not an expert on this guy. He does look good. He looks calm. He looks accomplished. He's a good defender. It's what you expect from Italian defenders. 22 years of age now. I was looking at some of his stats. Hasn't played over 75 league games. He's only 22 years of age and still relatively inexperienced. He came through at Roma, went to Genoa for a little bit, went to Basel over there in Switzerland, came back and went to Bologna. Bologna last year was really his breakthrough season. 30 games in the league, 2 goals, 5 assists, 4 yellow cards and 3 Coppa Italia appearances. He helped Bologna qualify for the Champions League, which is unbelievable. They finished 5th. But 5th in the Italian League this season has gained them a Champions League qualification spot. Now, according to the reports, if Arsenal were to buy him, it would be at around 50 million euros, which is around 42.5 to 43 million pounds. So my initial question is sort of, why is he so expensive? I mean, listen, if he's an unbelievable player, then fair play. But for a guy that's coming from, no disrespect, Bologna are not one of the top teams in Italy. He's had one real consistent season of football in Serie A. He's just broke into the Italian squad over the last year, 3 appearances in the Euros, and he's going to cost £43 million, 50 million euros. Number one, we're spending £50 million on a player that, is he better than Gabriel as left centre-back? I would say no from what I've seen. Although maybe long term, who knows? Or maybe Arteta's plan is to sign him and play him at left back. We know that Pep has played Nathan Ake at left back, who's naturally a centre back. It's been a huge success. We tried to do something similar with Kivior. It didn't work out quite the same way as Nathan Ake. So I suppose my question mark is, number one, how good is he beyond what we saw in the Euros? Number two, why is he so expensive? And number three, do Arsenal need to spend £43 million on a centre-back that probably isn't good enough to start for us at the moment, unless we're going to play him left-back, unless he's going to change formation? Listen, I get it. Man City have got £50 million players on the bench. That is the way that football is going now, so I don't have a problem with that. I'm just saying, would there have been better options? Could we have gone for Diamande from Sporting Lisbon? Okay, Calafiori is a left-footed centre-back, so I think they do want cover on that side. But what does that really mean for Jakub Kivior? We paid 27 million for Kivior as a left-sided centre-back cover for Gabriel. We're then potentially going to pay 43 million for Calafiori. Surely that would mean Kivior would be moved on, or maybe Zinchenko would be moved on over that side. Obviously, Timber is back from injury as well. So anybody who's watched this guy a lot more than me, I want you to tell me in the comments, how good is he? Is he worth the money? It's an interesting one for me. The crazy thing, he earns 12,000 a week. So Arsenal could comfortably turn up and go 50, 60 grand a week. He's going to be absolutely over the moon with that. As I said, Chelsea are interested as well. We know they're prepared to pay big wages, as we've seen with the likes of Mudryk and Caicedo. So there are other clubs involved. It does sound like he wanted to go to Juventus, but because of the price and because of the tension, that deal quite difficult to do. So let's see what happens with that deal over the next few days, people. One player that looks like he won't be joining Arsenal, and I'm very disappointed with this, is Javi Simons, the Dutch international. Seen Holland against Romania in the knockout stage. They were very impressive. And if they beat Turkey and England beat Switzerland, they would meet each other in the semi-final. And Javi Simons was very impressive in that 10 role. Should have probably scored in the game, to be honest. His finishing wasn't great, but his link-up play, tried the little Rabona cross, silky on the ball, got an assist for Daniel Marlin. And listen, looks a proper player, somebody that I think Arsenal should have been going for. However, Javi Simons has announced through his agent he is not keen on a move to the Premier League this summer. PSG willing to loan him out, don't actually want to give you an option to buy him at the end of it. They want him to return to France next summer. He has announced that he wants to stay in the Bundesliga. Been linked with a return to RB Leipzig, where he was very successful last season. He's also being linked with a move to Bayern Munich, who are looking for more attacking talent. Can you imagine Musiala and Javi Simons behind Harry Kane with maybe Gnabry and Sané out wide? Would be lethal. Obviously, Thomas Muller in that attacking role is getting old now. They're looking for a different option. Javi Simons could be heading to Bayern Munich. Very disappointed with that. I did want him at Arsenal, but he doesn't want to come to the Premier League. And I think sometimes when we support a Premier League club, we think it's the be-all and end-all. But some of these players across the world, they're not as interested in the Premier League. It's the reason we've never seen, you know, players like Messi and Zidane and R9 Ronaldo. The Premier League is not the be-all and end-all to everyone. It's cold. It's very physical. There's no winter break. A lot of players don't like that. So Javi Simons not interested in a move to the Premier League, was being linked with Arsenal and Liverpool. Let's talk about David Raya. This deal looks as if it's going to be done possibly today. Fabrizio Romano confirming Arsenal have triggered the release clause in the contract that came from the previous loan spell. £3 million loan and then a further £27 million on top of that to complete the £30 million deal. Now, David Raya won the Golden Glove last year. I thought he did well. Good with the ball at his feet. Good at commanding crosses. I think he's good. I like him. Listen, I did say over the past month or so, I don't think he's a world-class goalkeeper. I think he's a good goalkeeper. You saw, for example, Jan Oblak's performance the other night. That was world-class. And I would like to see Arsenal maybe go for another goalkeeper. I don't think it will happen. I think Raya will be number one and they'll get a backup if Ramsdale goes. But Oblak and Ederson and Alisson, those are the sort of levels I would like to see Arsenal get to. But David Raya, with a good defence in front of him, maybe it would be enough. So looks like that deal is going to get completed maybe today. 4-year contract. What do you guys think about David Raya completing his permanent move to the Arsenal? And finally, someone who looks to be on his way out, Albert Sambi Lokonga. Remember him? The new Yaya Toure, according to Vincent Kompany. Yeah, not quite. On his way to Sevilla on loan over there in Spain. I think it's a solid move for him, to be honest. He's been at Luton. He's done well. The problem is Luton got relegated. Now, apparently they wanted him to return there, but he doesn't want to play in the Championship. They can't afford his wages. And he's got himself a move to Sevilla. Pretty prestigious club over there in Spain. Clubs are negotiating the option to buy. Sevilla want it at 8 million. Arsenal want it at 12 million. I'm sure they'll meet somewhere in the middle. My frustration with these deals, you know, you look at Tavares, you look at Lokonga. Option to buy. You end up in a situation where, you know, Lokonga's now been on loan to Crystal Palace. He's been on loan to Luton. You know, he's going to go on loan to Sevilla. So you're talking 3 seasons of loans where nobody has activated as yet the buyback clause or the option to buy him, and he ends up coming back to Arsenal every summer. Surely we need to try and negotiate an obligation to buy, even if you were to reduce the price. Now, listen, the hope is he goes to Sevilla, does really well, and you get more money for him. But I think sometimes Arsenal have just got to cut their losses on these guys. You know, you keep loaning him, he keeps getting sent back, and you end up in the same situation. But Sambi on his way out on loan to Sevilla. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully he does well and we can get some money for him. Thank you very much for tuning in today, people. Short and sweet. Not a lot going off today, which is why I didn't do a stream. I will be back on tomorrow. Let me know in your comments what we've spoken about. Calafiori, Javi Simons, David Raya, Sambi Lokonga. And, of course, we'll be doing Euros watch-alongs later in the week. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all soon, people. Bless.